Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive today. We're going to be tackling the career of Cristiano Ronaldo. We're exploring Cristiano Ronaldo, the complete journey. It's packed with details about his life, career highlights, and the impact he's had on and off the field. So get ready, because we're going to uncover what makes Ronaldo a legend.
It really takes us back to his humble beginnings. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Madeira, Portugal, how this kid from a small island became a global superstar.
Yeah. I mean, we all know Ronaldo is this incredible athlete, but to think of him just kicking a ball around in the streets of Madeira, it really puts things into perspective. Like, it wasn't exactly a, you know, hotbed of football talent.
Not at all. But even as a child, Ronaldo's passion for the game was clear. And what's remarkable is he had to overcome some serious health challenges early on. He was diagnosed with a heart condition as a teenager.
That's right. I had almost forgotten about that. I mean, you have to wonder if facing a challenge like that so early in life, I mean, did that fuel his incredible drive later on?
It's certainly possible. Overcoming something like that could, derailed a career. But for Ronaldo, it seems to have had the opposite effect. It's almost like it solidified his commitment to the game.
And so he joins Sporting Lisbon's youth academy. And boom, his talent just explodes. Was it clear right away that he was destined for greatness?
Oh, his talent was undeniable, even at that age. He had this raw ability, an instinct for the game, and it caught the eye of many clubs. But it was his move to Manchester United in 2003 that really marked his transformation.
Manchester United. This is where things really start to take off for him. He goes from being this promising young player to a global sensation. What was it about Manchester United, about playing under Sir Alex Ferguson, that allowed him to flourish like that?
Ferguson was known for his ability to nurture talent, to create an environment where players could reach their potential. And for Ronaldo, who was already incredibly dedicated, that mentorship was crucial. It helped him hone his skills, develop his style, and ultimately become the world-class player we know today.
And it wasn't just individual skill. He helped lead Manchester United to some serious victories. Premier League titles, the FA Cup, and that Champions League win. I mean, those are huge accomplishments, especially at such a young age.
Absolutely. It's one thing to have talent, but to be able to translate that into success on the field, especially at that level of competition, those early wins with Manchester United proved that Ronaldo wasn't just a flashy player. He was a winner.
Yeah. And, those wins weren't just about the team. They were also major milestones for Ronaldo personally.
Yeah.
They solidified his place as one of the best in the world.
Exactly. Each victory added another layer to his reputation, an image of him as a player who could deliver on the biggest stages.
Speaking of achievements, his time with Real Madrid, I mean, that record-breaking transfer in 2009, that was huge news.
It was massive. Real Madrid, they're known for acquiring the best of the best, and they got one of the most sought-after players. It was a signal of their ambition and Ronaldo's desire to push his boundaries.
And he didn't disappoint. Became their all-time top scorer. I mean, that's a record that will probably stand for a very long time.
It's a testament to his consistency and his drive. Year after year, he just kept scoring, breaking records, and leading Real Madrid to victory. 4 Champions League titles. Incredible.
And it was during his time at Real Madrid that this rivalry with Lionel Messi really heated up. It was like watching a clash of the titans. What was it about that rivalry that captivated so many people?
It wasn't just about their individual brilliance. It was about contrasting styles, 2 different approaches to the game. Messi with his dribbling and playmaking, Ronaldo with his power, speed, and finishing.
Yeah. Felt like you had to pick a side, Messi or Ronaldo. Such a dominant era in football, defined by these 2 incredible talents. Even with Messi pushing him, Ronaldo didn't slow down.
Not at all. His move to Juventus in 2018, at a time when many players start to think about retiring. I mean, that just shows his relentless drive.
So he moves to Juventus at 33. You'd think maybe he'd start to, wind down a bit. But he just keeps going. Leads them to 2 Serie A titles. Proves that he's still got it. What was it about Ronaldo's approach that allowed him to stay at the top of his game for so long?
His professionalism is legendary. That rigorous training, the strict diet, the mental focus. It's all part of his commitment to staying at peak performance. He really raised the bar for what it means to be a professional athlete. He showed younger players that talent alone isn't enough. You need dedication and discipline to reach those levels.
It's like he was setting a new standard for the next generation. Now, speaking of setting standards, let's talk about his return to Manchester United in 2021. What was it about that move that caused such a stir?
There was this wave of nostalgia surrounding his return. The fans were thrilled to have him back, and even though the team faced some challenges during that period, Ronaldo still made an impact.
Yeah, he was still scoring those crucial goals, reminding everyone that he could still deliver. But with all that he had achieved, what was it that drew him back to Manchester United?
It might have been a sense of unfinished business, a desire to recapture some of that magic, or maybe it was about giving back to the club that helped launch his career, whatever it was. His presence had a profound effect on the team and the fans.
It felt like a homecoming, a chance to relive those glory days. But then, just when we all thought we had Ronaldo figured out, he makes another move, this time to Al Nassr FC in Saudi Arabia in late 2022. And this transfer sparked a lot of debate.
It was a controversial move. Some people saw it as a step down, a sign that his career was coming to a close. But others, they saw it as something that could really impact the global football landscape.
Right, because it wasn't just about him playing in a different league. This move brought a lot of attention to football in the Middle East.
Absolutely. It attracted a global audience, brought in new investments, and sparked interest in the sport, in a region where it was already growing rapidly.
And it wasn't just about playing the game. The book really highlights how Ronaldo used his platform to promote the sport, engaging with fans, inspiring young players. It felt like he was trying to elevate football in the region.
It transcended the sport itself. He was using his influence to leave a legacy beyond the pitch. Speaking of legacy, we can't talk about Ronaldo without mentioning all his awards and records. 5 Ballon d'Or trophies, the most goals in the Champions League, the most international goals. I mean, these are achievements most players only dream of.
It's amazing to stay at that level for so long, to maintain that level of excellence year after year. It takes an incredible amount of dedication.
Absolutely. Talent can only take you so far. Ronaldo's success is a testament to his work ethic, his discipline, and his belief in himself. He shows what's possible with hard work and determination.
But what I find really inspiring about him is that he's not just focused on his own success, he's also incredibly generous. He uses his platform to make a difference. His philanthropic work is pretty remarkable.
You're right, the book talks about his involvement with charities, donating to hospitals, children's charities, supporting disaster relief efforts. He's always giving back.
It adds another layer to his legacy. He's not just a football icon, he's a role model. He shows that you can achieve greatness on the field while also making a positive impact. Now, I don't know about you, but I always like to see what makes these great players tick. The more highlight sections of this book offer some great insights. What are some of the stories that stand out to you?
One thing that impressed me was the emphasis on his training regime. It's not just talent, it's pushing himself day in and day out, strict diet, prioritizes recovery. He approaches training with the same intensity as a match.
Wow, that's intense. But I guess it makes sense. To stay at that level, you can't leave anything to chance. It's all about consistency. But what about his leadership on the field? We've all seen him rally his teammates. What makes him such a good leader?
His passion is contagious, and his belief in winning motivates those around him. There are stories of him changing games, scoring crucial goals, pushing his team to do the impossible. He leads by example, demonstrating what it takes to win.
He thrives under pressure. The bigger the moment, the better he performs. But it's not just about individual brilliance, it's about the whole team.
Exactly. He creates this environment where everyone strives for excellence, where there's no room for complacency. His presence pushes everyone around him to reach their potential.
It's that commitment to excellence that's defined his entire career. You know, going through this book, I realized that Ronaldo's journey isn't just about goals and trophies. It's a story of resilience, of overcoming challenges, and pushing boundaries.
That's so true. His story resonates with people beyond football because it shows the human spirit and our ability to rise above things and chase our dreams.
It's like his career is a blueprint for achieving the impossible. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today, into Cristiano Ronaldo's journey. We covered a lot, from his beginnings to global stardom, his triumphs, his challenges, and the impact he's had on and off the field.
It's been fascinating, exploring one of football's biggest icons. And what's clear is that his legacy goes beyond the records. He's inspired millions, showing what's possible with talent, hard work, and belief.
And that leads me to a final thought. Ronaldo's move to Saudi Arabia was bold. It definitely shook things up. But what will his lasting impact be? Will he successfully elevate football in the region, attract new talent, or will this be just a footnote in his career? It's something to think about. as we see how the game evolves. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, he really set a new standard, showed the younger players that talent isn't enough. It takes dedication and discipline.
Like a blueprint for success. Speaking of setting standards, let's talk about his return to Manchester United in 2021. What was it about that move that made everyone so excited?
Well, there was this huge wave of nostalgia. Fans were just thrilled to have him back at Old Trafford. And yeah, the team had its challenges then, but Ronaldo still made a real difference.
Oh yeah, he was still scoring goals, showing everyone he was still a top player. But with all that he'd accomplished already, what made him go back to Manchester United?
I don't know, maybe it was unfinished business. Maybe he wanted to recapture some of that magic. Or maybe he just wanted to give back to the club that helped him at the start of his career, whatever the reason. He had a huge impact on the team and the fans.
It did feel like a homecoming, like a chance to relive those great moments.
Yeah.
But then, just when you think you know what Ronaldo's going to do, he makes another unexpected move. He goes to Al Nassr FC in Saudi Arabia, late 2022. That transfer got people talking.
It was controversial. Some thought it was a step down, like maybe he was at the end. But others, they saw the potential impact for global football.
Yeah, it wasn't just about playing in a different league. It brought so much attention to football in the Middle East.
Exactly. A global audience, new investments,
Wow.
more interest in the sport, in a place where it was already becoming more popular.
And he didn't just play. This book shows how he used his position to promote the sport in Saudi Arabia. He was connecting with fans, inspiring young players, trying to elevate the whole football culture there.
He went beyond the sport itself, using his influence to build a legacy. That wasn't just about what happened on the field. And speaking of legacy, you can't forget about all of his awards and records. 5 Ballon d'Or trophies, most goals in the Champions League, most international goals. Most players could only dream of achieving that.
It's unbelievable, staying at the top like that, year after year. It must take so much dedication.
Absolutely. Talent will only take you so far. Look at his work ethic, his discipline, his belief in himself. He's proof that you can achieve anything with hard work.
But what I find really inspiring is that he doesn't just care about his own success. He's really generous, using his platform to make a difference.
Yeah.
All this charity work is incredible.
You're right. The book talks about his involvement with so many charities, hospitals, children's charities, disaster relief, always giving back.
It's more than just football. He's not just an icon in the sport. He's a role model. He shows that you can be great at what you do and still make the world a better place.
Yeah.
You know, I always wonder what makes these incredible athletes tick. And this book has these more highlight sections. They give you a glimpse behind the scenes. What stories did you find interesting?
Well, one thing that stood out was how much he focuses on training. It's not just about talent for him. It's about pushing his limits. Every single day, strict diet, recovery, he trains just as hard as he plays.
Wow, that's serious dedication. But to be the best, you can't just rely on luck. It's about consistency and pushing yourself. What about his leadership on the field? We've seen him bring his teams together. How does he do that?
His passion is inspiring, and he really believes they can win. And that motivates everyone around him. There are stories about him completely changing games, scoring those crucial goals, making his team do incredible things. He leads by example, showing everyone what it takes to win.
He really shines in those big moments. The bigger the game, the better he plays. But it's not just about him. It's about making the whole team better.
Right. He creates this culture where everyone wants to be their best, and no one settles for less. He pushes everyone around him to reach their full potential.
Yeah, it's that drive to be the best. That's always been there. Looking back at his whole career, it's not just about all the goals and trophies. It's about facing challenges, never giving up, and always pushing further.
And that's why his story is so powerful. It's not just about football. It's about the human spirit, overcoming obstacles and achieving your dreams.
Yeah, it's like he shows us what's possible if you set your mind to it. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the incredible career of Cristiano Ronaldo. We started from his humble beginnings and followed his path to becoming a global icon. We saw his victories, the tough times, and the impact he's had on everyone.
It's been amazing to really explore the life of one of football's greatest players, and it's clear that his influence goes far beyond the game. He's inspired people all over the world, showing that with talent, hard work, and belief in yourself, you can achieve incredible things.
And that brings me to one final thought. That move to Saudi Arabia was a big decision. It changed things up. But what will it mean in the long run? Will he really elevate football in that region? Will it attract new players and investment? Or will this just be a small part of an already amazing career? It's something to consider. as we watch this sport continue to grow and change. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.